Hello, it's Andy Graham of hobotraveler.com, or maybe Digital Nomad Traveler. I got a whole bunch of websites now, so I'm all over the place. The biggest problem in life is communication. I remember working for this Fortune 500 executive one time, flying around the United States. He'd take his big fist and scream down and go, "Communication, communication, communication." He was scary. He was an ex-pro football player. Leighton Cook, I think his name was. He worked for Frito-Lay. Scary guy. He was so powerful. I had a job where I flew around the United States retrofitting distribution centers. A long time ago. Okay, but when Leighton Cook talked, I hope he's still a good guy. He's out there. He's one of the most intelligent guys I ever met. He worked for Frito-Lay, and he managed all their facilities worldwide. He was scary when he talked, because every single word he said was of value. So I ended up at this juncture being I had to take notes like when he was talking. I couldn't take notes as fast as he gave me information. I was making, I don't know, this is a long time ago, I was making something like $60, $100 an hour or so. He wanted me to be good at what I did, and I was. But why? Because I listened, and I really wanted to listen. But the point was, you can't listen that fast, right? For one thing, you're concentrating on writing notes and organizing and thinking while he's talking, while you should be listening. So I have a couple tools that I use all the time, and this whole video is evolving different than I thought. But basically, one of the biggest tools in communication is to say, "I didn't understand you. Will you please repeat that?" Well, great way to make everybody angry, right? Because you're not listening. Okay, so going on the theme that please repeat that. Well, that really don't work, guys. I mean, you can do it for one sentence, but you can't get them to repeat the whole thing, right? So I have two different tools. If I'm really on I got a couple different tools on the internet. So like if somebody was calling me on Skype, I can actually turn on this program called CallGraph. I'm pretty sure. I just installed another one called, I'm always looking for the video part. Let's see if I can find it. It's called, eVasser or something. Basically what you want to do is you want to record the conversation the minute it starts. Okay, now that's great. But, so then what you're going to do is when you're basically going to listen to it 3 times. That sounds funny. Hey, it's humility to accept that we're not perfect. Okay, but I also have another trick. So basically I have 2 different ways to, there's what I read and what I hear and what I see, right? So basically what's nice about Skype is everything that comes in I can record. Okay? Telephone calls on my cell phone are really difficult. In America, when I had this problem with Leighton Cook, I hooked a recorder to my landline and basically recorded the call. Then I would listen to it again and take notes and write it out, blah, 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 and make sure I didn't miss anything. He was giving me directions, so like where to land in Denver, Colorado. No, Denver. Get on go to Boulder, Colorado, do this, do this, do this. You're going to meet at this distribution center. You got to be there tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Hey, one mistake and I'm somewhere in Colorado, right? Very critical stuff. But he paid me a lot to listen. But it wasn't just listening. It was discernment, taking everything he did and doing it right. Okay, now the way to do it right is to make sure that you capture the information, make sure you can double check yourself. Now this is where everybody thinks they're God. I'm amazed at how many people just skim an article and think they know what they watched or read. So what I do is I have two different ways. I record an article. I record a Skype call. I really love Skype because anything that would come in through Skype I can record. My cell phone, I don't know. If they tell me they got a smartphone that will record all my telephone calls, I'll buy it. But it's about capturing the data and making sure you're clear. Okay. And then creating the data into a way that we can use it. So ideally you would have your secretaries transcribe it, make a report on it, put it into bulleted list, and boom, you got it clear. Okay, but when I'm reading articles, I just read an article and it really made me angry by the world of, let's see, what is it called? I always get these things screwed up. Okay, this is from the World Bank, and they have what they call the Millennium Development Goals. Big stuff by the United Nations and all this stuff in the World Bank. The World Bank, just, I don't know who's doing this, and this is the hard part, it's a press release. Developing countries need to harness urbanization to achieve the MDGs. They use an acronym in the title. Millennium Development Goals. Okay, basically they could have made this short. Urbanization. Urbanization is a big word that means we've got to put everybody into a city. I'm like going, hey, that's the only place I can find poverty is in a city, and they want to tell me that they're going to... So I'm a little angry because if I want to find poverty, I find it in the cities. It's where human density, wherever human density is the most, that's where the most abject poverty is. Because they fail to compete with all these thousands of people around them. Basically, if people are all spread out, they don't have trouble competing. Okay, but bottom line, this is about tools. Okay, so what I have is a program called How Reader. And you can use any kind of program you care. I don't get picked up on this stuff. I got a program that's free called How Reader. And I want you to... Because this is so important to me, and I don't just want to jump and be an idiot and prove myself an idiot. Hey, I'm not an idiot, but people prove themselves all the time, right? What I do is I have a real nice program. I turn this on. I highlight it. Can you see how that's highlighted? I hit Control Copy, or I could just put, copy and paste functions, right? Control Copy.
Washington, April 17, 2013. Urbanization helps pull people out of poverty and advances progress towards the Millennium Development Goals, MDGs, but if not managed well, can also lead to burgeoning...
It's reading it back to me, guys.
...and crime, says the Global Monitoring Report GMR 2013, released today by the World Bank and International Monetary Fund, IMF. Urbanization has been a major force behind poverty reduction and progress towards other MDGs.
Getting it to shut up is also a problem. But the point is that this is like a lecturer. What is the value of a university lecture? He says it, you read the outline, you go read the book. You have auditory, visual, and different perceptions, tactile. There's different ways things come in. And if you get all the senses involved, you got a better chance of getting the idea. So when I really want to make sure I understand something, I will read it and have it read to me. Well, what that does is it takes my brain and turns it off of, what do you call it? Skimming. I skim everything. Huge problem. Huge problem for a writer like me. Skimming is not reading an article. It's skimming. Skimmed over the top. There are certain things like that. Newspapers I like. They give you the headline, then the first paragraph, they give you the story, then you can kind of skim the rest and just get it. You don't need to know. Just because you just want an idea what's going on, you don't really need to write a report on it. But when I want to really understand somebody's stuff, I use this How Reader thing, and it reads back to me. There's all different ways to do it. But the two things I'm pointing out today, one, capture the information. And then you stop being guide and listen to it 2 or 3 times. And I think your boss would probably love you if he actually thought you was listening to it. Communication. I'll never forget him. He has a big face. He goes, communication, communication, communication. He blasted. Fortune 500 guy. This is the type of guy that would stop. He was amazing. I'd be in Colorado. He would stop in Chicago for a 1-hour meeting, get back on a plane and come meet me. What a powerful guy. This is what a lot of you dream about being. I don't dream about being this anymore. I dream about doing just exactly what I'm doing. Understanding my world. Okay, Andy Graham, Hobo Traveler. I'm also going to try to put this on Digital Nomad Traveler because the digital nomads are the guys that go out here and live just like me, and they really have a challenge because the information's moving. My information moves all over the place. Every room I go into, every country I go into, every hotel I go to is a different set of variables. But listen to it twice, capture the data, and figure out a way to make sure you actually heard what they said or wrote or you see. Okay, Andy Graham, thank you.